Welcome back. Today, I just wanted us to take a quick look at my collard greens. Of course, I wanted us to take a quick look at my whole garden too. But cutting off the bolted collard greens, they've all flowered, and I am going to cut some off and see what I can do to salvage the rest of the collard greens. And I'll also give you a quick tour of my garden. It's been raining all day, and you can hear the creek. Can you hear that? Yeah, that's the creek. Come on, let me show you before we start. See? Look at that. Yeah, so it's been a rainy day, but it stopped raining right now, and we're going to look at the collard greens, and also I'll show you what's growing in my garden. So this will be the April garden tour. Okay, join me. So this is what I'm talking about. Do you see all the collard greens are flowered throughout the whole garden? Even the kale has began flowering, and I am going to cut off all the flowering parts and see if we can salvage the collard greens. And if we can't, we'll just go ahead and yank them out and plant fresh collard greens. Okay, let's get started. Here we are. I have my clean scissors. Uh, you can use, of course, shears or whatever else, but I prefer scissors. And they are clean, they are sterilized, and so I am ready to start. So what I do, first of all, I think the change in weather, like it's been cold, hot, it's confused my plants really. So they've started flowering early, and I also think I planted them earlier than I should have. And because they're cold season plants, I planted them. I want to say maybe in January, and I should have waited. I'm in zone 7B, and maybe that's the reason why. So come on closer, let me show you how I cut. So we're here, and come on closer, let me show you. And you go all the way to the bottom, see? And see? And the flowers are edible. So the flowers are edible, and I'm just going to place them in this container right here, and I'm going to cook. I'm going to use them for a meal. Yeah. So I'm getting ready to cut the next one, and once again I go all the way to the bottom and cut. Also to harvest some that I could use to cook with. And while I'm cutting, I'm going to show you what's growing in the garden. So this is pepper. It's a bell pepper that's emerging. You can see there's a strawberry right there that's growing. And if you come closer here, you'll see a beefsteak plant that's growing. And look here, we have some kale that we are also cutting because it's already flowering. And yeah, I just snapped it out. And here's another one. Just snap it. And as you come this way, you can see the uh, tomatoes. So there's tomatoes right there. There's a whole line of tomatoes, and we have lettuce right here. So that's lettuce right there. And right here we have beets. And so right here we also have tomatoes. You can see tomatoes. There's a whole line of tomatoes going down, and you'll see some lettuce right here. So there's some lettuce growing. It's all the way over there. And here I forgot what it is, but you can tell me in the comments what you think it is. We have some celery. We have some here, some right there, and right there. Of course, we have some collard greens mixed in and some Swiss chard, just as you see the Swiss chard all the way up there. So down here we have some peppers growing, we have some collard greens, we have some green onions, we have a tomato, and if you go to the next step over here, we have a whole lot of collard greens that I just harvested. We have some onions. We have a lot of strawberry in between that's still growing, and we have some squash over there. And if you turn around right here, all these are tomatoes everywhere. This whole side has tomatoes, and then the next step has tomatoes, and it has cucumbers. So we have tomatoes and cucumbers over here, and we have some bell peppers. And if you go up the next step, we have jalapeno peppers and a whole lot of collard greens. And here's one that's flowered that I forgot to get rid of. Okay. And if you turn around, You will see some Swiss chard right there that's growing really good. And we have a whole lot of other vegetables that were growing from seed that are just coming out. If you go to the next box over here, we have the rosemary that's still doing good. And we have a lot of herbs here that are doing good. We have a lot of mint and many other herbs that are doing good. Okay, I think that's it for today.